Guys, gals, non-binary pals, welcome back to the channel and thank you so much for clicking on today's video. We have a lot to talk about because we only have 2 episodes of the L Word Generation Q season 2 left to go. So I'm going to be sharing some little pictures and behind the scenes things, theories, predictions, what I think is going to be happening, like some big things for the characters for those next 2 episodes, especially the finale, because if there's one thing that I would bet on, it's that there's gonna be some cliffhangers in the season finale. So right before we get started, make sure you've clicked that subscribe button so that you can be the first to know whenever I post my new videos. Make sure to leave a big thumbs up if you're excited for the next 2 episodes. It really does help out the channel. And also, if you need any of my social media or anything like that, they're all linked in the description box down below. So let's get into talking about some theories, predictions, and there's some stuff for pretty much all the characters. And I'm also going to talk a little bit more about my big Bette and Tina theory for the season finale. So let's start out with Finley, and we've seen a lot of the little sneak peek pictures for the season finale, and as we know, Finley has really been going through it with her problem with alcohol over the last 2 seasons, and it's especially ramped up this season with her being arrested for a DUI in the last 2 episodes. So I think that in the finale we are going to see some sort of intervention for Finley, because there's pictures of pretty much all the important people in Finley's life at the apartment with Micah, Sophie and Finley, and we see like Alice there, who's obviously her old boss who cares about her, Shane, who's her current boss, and Tess. And we do see Sophie talking to Tess in episode 9, and maybe Tess is explaining like sometimes rock bottom is like the solid foundation you need to rebuild, and no one can kind of force help on you. You need to want to get the help yourself. So I'm definitely interested in seeing what happens with Finley, and maybe for the finale we see her setting off to go to get treatment, which I think that obviously that would be a great thing for Finley. And we know Shane would be willing to give her the time off and things, so it would maybe even Shane is willing to help like financially and stuff, because obviously that would be very difficult for Finley to do, but she said Shane pays well, so maybe Shane also has really good health insurance for them, so that would be good as well. So speaking of Shane and Tess and Dana's, I do think that we have not heard the end of this poker saga. I think that maybe this is going to come back to bite them, because we know that they've been taking a rake for quite a while now, and then also with Tess's mom and stuff. So if Tess was in trouble, then obviously she wouldn't be able to go and help with her mom. And as we know, Tess and Shane seem pretty happy right now, and unfortunately people don't stay too happy for too long on the L Word, and I definitely think we're going to hear more about the poker saga. So my new favorite couple, Dani and Gigi, I do think, again, no one stays too happy for too long, and we know that Dani's dad is preparing for trial, and he will be going to trial in the next 2 episodes, and there definitely seems as though there's going to be some really intense scenes with Dani and her dad. And Gigi's brother is actually, one of her brothers is actually appearing in the finale, so I wouldn't be surprised if this was setting something up with Gigi and her own family or her own dad, as she did say to Dani last episode about how her dad was, she was always being forced to choose between Nat and her dad, and then Dani kind of had the situation with Sophie. So I'd definitely be thinking that there's similar things being set up for both of them. And we've also been getting these little bits of information about Gigi and her family, so I think that they're going to be exploring that a bit more, and possibly setting up some sort of decision that Gigi has to make when it comes to Dany and her family, where her dad obviously is either going to pay the ramifications for what he's done, or he's going to get off scot-free. And normally in these situations, when people have a lot of money, I mean, they did mention the Sacklers last episode, and you know, most of the time they just get charged tons of money and they're absolute millionaires, billionaires over, so it doesn't really harm them to pay that. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with Dany's dad's trial. I would tend to think that he would get off with just a big fine. So it'll definitely be interesting to see what happens there. Also, when it comes to Dany, we know that obviously Bette and Dany are not in the best place right now over Dany doing the endowment to the CAC and putting her name on it. So I think that we may see some sort of name change here. And although Dany has like doubled the money that her family's giving, if they did it in dedication to Kit or Kit Porter, so I could foresee a name change there, and that would kind of repair a bit maybe the relationship with Bette, because I really hope that they don't leave Dany and Bette like arguing for too long. Although we do see next episode that Bette and Pippa are going to a protest, which has to do with the CAC and the whole Nunez family endowment. So we'll see what happens there. So the big theory, the big thoughts, Bette and Tina and also Carrie. So back in the beginning of the season, I did make this video about a Bette and Tina theory I had, where Bette says to Shane at the wedding for Sophie and Dany that when Finley comes in, she says, "Oh, that's the most selfish thing I've ever seen." And there just seemed to be like a lot of focus on that.
Micah, just wait! I think that was the most selfish thing I've ever seen. Thanks so much for making me your plus one.
And sometimes they do these little lines that, you know, they come back to mean something. So I wouldn't be surprised if we are barreling towards Tina and Carrie's wedding and they're doing this kind of bookending thing they like to do, like starting the season with a wedding and ending the season with a wedding. So time-wise line, we actually know that is where we're headed, because very strangely for the L word, because normally time and space don't exist in the L word, but every so often we've got these like time check-ins on phones. And last episode we had Sophie picking up her phone and showing it was May, and we've had previous check-ins in April and March. So it definitely seems as though the episode is taking place over a day and a night, sometimes two, and then there's like a week or two between each episode. So the finale should be ending like, you know, the middle end of June, which that's the height of summer to me. So Tina and Carrie have been saying they're getting married this summer. And also there was behind the scenes videos and pictures right around when they're filming the finale, where they are at this like country club, and really quickly, like it's just at the end of the video, you can see that there's like a big marquee, and it definitely looks like some sort of big event to me. And I don't know, there's not too many big events like that you can have at a country club, so I tend to think that it is some sort of wedding, but we shall see. And I don't expect Bette to like storm in there like Finley did with a hat on, saying, you know, breaking up the wedding basically. But I can definitely imagine Bette going to Tina the night before. And we also know that Shane has this famous line from the trailer about, you know, winning her back. And the only thing that I think is, though, that there's so many times that they, trailers are meant to mislead you, but this trailer has been kind of truthful. There were some instances like, everyone was thinking that those legs with like the yellow underwear were someone, and it ended up being Sherry Jaffe. So Shane, I hope that she's not just talking to like, a randomer or, like a tertiary character or something. So the other thing is that we obviously know from the episode 9 teaser that Tina asked Bette, like, are you still in love with me?
I want to know why you can't be happy for me and Carrie. Are you still in love with me?
And listen, we all know Bette is a dum-dum, and the minute I saw this teaser, I thought straight away of season 5 when it's, the Les Girls like actor party.
It shouldn't have happened. We just got caught up in a moment.
And Tina like basically jumps out of a bush and asks Bette if she's in love with Jody.
Are you in love with Jody? Yes, I am.
And Bette's like, yeah. And then Bette's just like, oh, we got caught up in a moment, and Bette's obviously going to do this again, so will she regret it? And then in episode 10, let her real feelings be known. The only thing that kind of works against it, there's a few things that work against this, but the one thing is that Pippa and Bette do seem really happy. I don't know where they'll leave things for the season, because we all know that people on the L Word just poof, disappear. So they haven't obviously said about season 3 yet. Again, I have a video on season 3 if you want to check that out. I'll link it in the cards and down below. But would Vanessa Williams come back for another season? I think she definitely would, because she's, she's been really nice about the show, and like she's done like little lives and stuff to promote it. So I can foresee her coming back, and there is only 2 episodes left, and we definitely know that they're like happy and together and things. So who knows? And I'd love to know your thoughts down in the comment section, what you think is going to happen. Do you think that there'll be anything? Do you think Bette and Tina are done and dusted and they're just going to remain co-parents? The other thing is, I think, it is only the 2nd season, and I think that there's going to be a lot more seasons of this show. So do they put them back together when they know, obviously, Laura Holman can only commit so much time? So there's many questions, but we will get, a lot of them answered in the next 2 weeks when we get to see the last 2 episodes. So let me know all your thoughts down in the comment section. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, because it really helps out the channel when you do, and it's quick, easy, and free. How many things are quick, easy, and free in life to do? Not a lot. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button if you are looking forward to the last 2 episodes. And if you want to follow me on social media, check out my Patreon, check out my merch store. All of that will be linked in the description box down below. And as always, make sure to stay safe, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.